So folks, I'm going to talk briefly today about our personal Infomediary project at MIT. The project focuses on how to collect data, how to protect data, and how to come up with a good business model that preserves the privacy of the individual. So we all know that we need data, governments need data, society needs data, communities, municipalities, corporations need data. That's pretty clear. All the cool tools you're hearing today, AI, machine learning, social analytics, algorithms, they all need data, they rely on data, and so we have to feed it data. So this brings in the question of, aside from privacy of data, but how do we get access to data? Who owns data? Data ownership, is it co-ownership? So last week, Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, had an article in Times Magazine that spoke about privacy, and Tim called upon the US Congress to come and create a federal privacy legislation for the United States. But he also mentioned a few things, a couple other things. The other one he mentioned was how to empower consumers, right? So that's what he said. But I thought to myself, well, how do we actually empower consumers, right? How do we give them access to their own data? And so the Infomediary project focuses on this precise problem. It has three components. So the first one is a software agent that sits on your device, whether it's on your PC or on your iPhone or mobile phone and other devices, and it collects copies of all your traffic into your own data repository. So it collects copies of your text messages, your location data when you move around. It collects copies of all your text messages and just silently puts that into a personal data store. Now, the data store could be on your device, it could be on the server, it could be in the cloud, fine. The second component is actually how to protect the privacy of that data. So we are using the open algorithms methodology, and the first rule in the open algorithms methodology is you move the algorithm to the data. The data must never leave the repository, right? So we're just observing that rule, and that means that queries and algorithms that have been validated, they travel to the repository, not the other way around. So by doing that, we actually solve the problem of what Tim Cook calls the shadow economy, where you have third-party aggregators sort of buying your personal data from the shadow economy. So the third component is the business model. So what is the business model for this? So we believe that when individuals pool together their personal data, the personal data becomes valuable. If it's just one person, who cares? But if you have 60,000 people, you have 100,000 people, you have the whole town of Davos collecting data, that becomes something of an attractive asset. So if you have a group of people pooling their resources together, they are in a better position to bargain with service providers, right? And so they're also in a good position to demand fiduciary obligations, fiduciary responsibilities, just the way your lawyer does to you, just the way your bank does with your bank account information. There is fiduciary obligations. So we believe that the structure of the credit union and the trade unions, which is what Johnny was talking about earlier today. Hey, Johnny, he's over there with the red panel, are best suited for this construct. So in the United States, the credit union is structured unlike a bank. They refer to their people as members, not customers, right? So if you go to any credit union, it's a member. But credit unions are always seeking new opportunities to provide new services for the members. So what if the credit union could be hosting and curating the personal data store of all its members? And in doing so, they enter into a fiduciary relationship with these members. That's doable. They do that today. And then the credit union can turn around and negotiate services on the part of the members. So by running analytics of the members, they can figure out, well, what is the health status of my 60,000 members? Can I go to the health insurance company and negotiate better rates from my members? Can I go to Amazon and say, hey, I want to negotiate a 30% discount on a particular item, and I'm going to buy 60,000 of them? By having the three things, which is collecting data into data stores, by observing the Opal principle of moving the algorithm to the data, and by using this fiduciary construct, you essentially prevent or make it more difficult for the shadow economy to exist, because your personal data never flows into the shadow economy. It's always sitting in your data repository. So just to recap, three things. We need a software agent to collect all copies of my data. We need to protect the privacy of their data by observing the open algorithms principle, which is moving the algorithm or the query to the data. And then we need to pool resources together under the construct of credit union or trade union and apply fiduciary relationships in that construct. If you want to hear more, find me. I'm over here with the blockchain panel over there. If you are looking for the website, it is trust.mit.edu. Good. Thank you.